this is gonna fucking end up like the beginning of Castaway with Tom Hanks. It's like, we're ready to go on the plane, and then it just crashes. But all right, let's do it.
It could be like worse. Could be like Snakes on a Plane or some shit.
Snakes on a Plane. I'll take that over Castaway.
Right.
Castaway is depressing as fuck. Snakes on a Plane is like fun. I'd like to have fun.
So you're on a war movie tangent, you said?
I was for a short time. I watched Lone Survivor. I watched Tears of the Sun and American Sniper. Damn, I was really on a tangent. Oh, Black Hawk Down. I was just like studying up on the Iraqi, like Afghanistan war.
Damn, what was the occasion? You were watching news and you were just like, yeah, we're probably gonna have a draft soon, so I need to like prepare myself mentally.
Take that. I was just like getting ready for this podcast. We haven't recorded in a while. Sorry, everybody. I know we were busy.
I was gonna say earlier because we were joking, and I was like Toby from Brothers when he's doing that scene with the pipe. But instead of that, it's just Luke when he was about to kill Kylo, and he's just like.
That was like a jump scare. That was like a Halloween episode jump scare.
Oh, when my lights when it fell down.
It's like, oh, that scared the fuck out of me.
That scared the fuck out of me.
The mom, I think, was taking a nap or something, and the room was like, which is funny. I would do it. That scared the fuck out of me right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Happy Halloween.
That was so fun. That was a fun
but
episode.
I really love this episode. It was just, I mean, we're not gonna get into spoilers yet, but
Yeah.
it really captured. I wanted to convey it was really good. No, but like, what did you like feel like when you first watched it?
Like I felt if you check my Instagram, like I'm just tearing up so much.
That's a trap. Don't do it. I feel like Admiral Akbar, like it's a trap.
What do we do? Spring the trap. Now it was such a beautiful episode because there were so many callbacks, and like we got some of our predictions correct and we got some of them wrong. We were like a mile off, but for the most part, I think we met halfway. It's such a great episode. What did you think about it?
Yeah, well, firstly, I wanna apologize to everybody because we messed up in the previous episode because we talked a little bit about like the Darksaber and the history like behind it, and we mentioned like we never saw like that weird thing where it's like it got heavier. Actually, that did happen in Star Wars Rebels, when Kanan was training Sabine. We actually saw that, so there actually is a thing where like when she's like connecting with it, it becomes lighter, but then like when she's like fighting back against it, it becomes like heavier. So I thought that was interesting because like I had to, rewatch like some Rebels episodes, and I just saw that and I was like, oh shit. But yeah, going back to this episode, like it brought so much of my childhood back. Just like there were so many moments, and like I don't know, it's just like they brought back a lot of characters, not just for like the sake of fan service. It kind of feels like fan service at times, but I think at times it's appropriate for like the story that they're trying to tell. And I really appreciate that. Like I always like say like John and Dave do like a phenomenal job with like storytelling. But I don't know, it's just it I can see why people see why it's taking away a bit from Boba's story. But at the same time, I think it's adding to this shared universe, right? Because it kind of feels like the MCU now, because it's like the Star Wars are just like expanding and becoming this new archetype lore, in a way. So it's just like as you always say, the industry is always evolving.
It's very scary. No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's a great point. I mean, which is so weird because it's a very connected thing anyway from the get go. But it's like with these Disney Plus shows, it connects it even more. And there's a bigger picture. Like it kind of sucks that like it's seeming now that these two episodes were like the best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, but at the same time too, it feels like it's foreshadowing something like huge coming up, and it's
like an
like
end game level. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it kind of feels like that, but it's like they did it in the wrong place. Like the Book of Boba Fett felt like weird to do it here, but like they had no other choice. Like where else would they do it? But there's so much that's gonna happen. I feel and we had so many announcements and Disney Plus Day. I can't wait to really check these out. And what's the next show? I think it's like we talked about before, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? So that's gonna be awesome.
I think they're saying it's definitely 2022. we just don't know like when it's actually, because we haven't really got like the interview with Ewan McGregor, but we haven't got like any like official like trailer or teaser yet. But I don't mind, because after seeing this show, I kind of wanted to cook a little more, and really like develop the story first before we get anything like solid or concrete. So, but I have a feeling it's gonna be an amazing show. I mean, obviously you're bringing you know the original talent back, Ewan and Hayden, for that show. So, and then of course Deborah Chow's directing it. So I have a good feeling it's gonna go over really well. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see more Anakin and Obi-Wan, even though that's kind of like out of place. 'Cause that's like really weird. Even in the comics, they haven't really like linked up. So this is like weird. I wonder how they're gonna set the stage, like for this. I call it a momentous moment because like the last time we seen these two interact, well, chronologically was A New Hope, but like the last time really was that beautiful, the best fight scene in Star Wars, I'd say.
Oh,
That
the
one,
best,
and
yeah,
yeah,
hands
Darth
down.
Maul and Ahsoka, and that one, like the best, the best, the best. I hope we get something like that. I heard that they're training, but that's gonna be really weird if we get something like that. So I don't know. I'm really excited though, and Acolytes. I'm really excited for Acolytes.
Oh yeah.
And we also have yeah, there's a lot of cool characters in this episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And we can't wait for you guys to see our breakdown, and plenty of screenshots. Dylan loves screenshots for you guys, so
Just
so there
follow
you go.
my Spider-Man IG.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I just want to mention too, sorry guys that we didn't release our last Peacemaker review. It's just our busy schedules, because we're in school, and it's just a lot. But we are planning to release it this weekend, so keep an eye out. But let's start the show. Hey guys, happy Wednesday to you all. Welcome to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast, coming to you from a galaxy far, far away to give you another Book of Boba Fett review for Chapter 6. From the Desert Comes a Stranger, directed by the man, the myth, the legend, Dave Filoni. What an episode. I can't even express in words what I'm feeling right now, but I'm going to hand this over to my deputy, Akram. Tell me what you thought about episode 6.
No, it's
I even got my little my little green friend.
There you go. Oh my god, there's so, like we talked about earlier in the cold opening, so many callbacks. Such a great episode. I felt like so teary-eyed watching it because it was so beautiful. The cinematography, the planet that they were on, the Mando. So much emotion conveys through Pedro Pascal's voice, and I find that so like he delivered so beautifully. What a great episode. Did it take away a little bit from the Book of Boba Fett? Yes, it has. But I think they're trying to set up something really huge, and I want to know your thoughts. So let's just get started with the beginning of it.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it. So spoilers coming ahead, guys, just forewarning. So yeah, I was joking earlier because I was saying now it kind of feels like the Book of Luke, the Book of Eli,
The Book of Eli. Well, the Book of Eli will come first before he goes back to Boba.
the Book of Cobb Vanth, because like they're just it's they put so many characters into one episode. There is kind of a nice balance to it. That's what I was worried about, like because there's so many arcs in this. It's like 3 different narratives in one episode, and I hope that they don't rush it in the final episode. But it was really nice. It was well, first obviously we start with Cobb Vanth, and I'm surprised that he came back. So Timothy Olyphant reprised his role. And what's so funny? He shot 2 blaster bolts, but he killed like 3 pikes for some reason.
I noticed that. That was like some weird editing. That's like
so
my
weird.
editing.
Like damn, they must have like been trained by stormtroopers. But yeah, that was
right.
really cool. So and then like he kicks the spice over, and you just hear like the dune noise, like. But that was cool. We got him back. So and I like some people even like predicted that he might come back. So that was interesting. So obviously by this time, we're kind of like brought back. What's the situation on Tatooine? The Pikes by now are kind of just like moving in, and they're doing like hits on like different like that one scene like with Boba's like I don't know if it's like that little casino he was going to.
Oh
They
yeah.
were doing like dirty drive-bys. I felt like I was watching like fucking like Under the Red Hood or some shit.
They call us the good fellas. Yeah.
But yeah, that was so like that was like there was like a level of like menace to like the Pikes because they're like on like these like terroristic like threats and shit. But yeah, so like the state is kind of like in disarray right now. But then we jump back to Mando. and he's going to see Grogu, and the planet that we saw, that bamboo. I don't know if that was Ahch-To. It could be like the precursor to Ahch-To, or maybe it's, I don't know, some. What do you think?
So Akcho is the planet where Luke decided to be away
I think that's the
forever.
planet that we see in the sequels,
Okay, so
the
that
watery
planet that
planet.
he was on was like the flashback scenes. You remember when he was like, yeah, that's
Oh,
the planet.
that's
Because
true.
in the last episode, if you guys remember too, towards the end where we're speaking about our predictions, and so there was like a comic panel. That's like the temple, right? That's the one
Hmm.
that collapsed as well. So that's the planet
Because it
he's
was
on,
made of stone too, yeah. Because and also those ant droids, I call them ant droids just because they look so much
mm,
like ants.
basically.
But that was cool, like how are they building like the stone temple. So it's similar to what we see into the sequels, and that's what kind of like what I like about this series. It's kind of justifying the sequels a little bit to make it callbacks. But yeah, what did you think about like seeing like R2, and of course we get Jedi fucking Master Luke back, and he looks phenomenal
Better than before.
in his seat, much more better than we saw in Mando season 2. But yeah, what were your thoughts on it, seeing him
Oh,
back?
it was great. I mean, from the very start, like I knew I felt I was gonna feel some like type of emotion, like very emotional when I was gonna be introduced again to Grogu. Um, but now he's with me. But yeah, no, first of all, the whole planet's beautiful because we never really seen like a showcase of how the planet looks. It's like a paradise, really, right?
It's
It's
very
just,
serene, yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's very tragic later on, what happens, right? But everything in the Force has to balance out, of course. But
It'd be funny if like it was just like that place that Shang-Chi went to.
shot. What's the song? Da-na-na-na, yeah, no. Basically, it was almost like that. But yeah, Ahsoka's great. Rosario Dawson makes a return. She's fabulous as Ahsoka. I wish we seen like some flashbacks. They showed some flashbacks of the Thousand Tears flashbacks. I wish we saw like some. I'm desperate to see a flashback of like Clone Wars, but like in live action with Ahsoka and Anakin and stuff like that. But yeah, and then Grogu and Luke, the relationship was so like cute, and the callback as well to Dagobah. Oh my god, that was such like a nice thing too. That was so cute. But yeah, I felt sad for Mando though, because Grogu and Mando have so much in common because he's fighting the same struggle Mando is. He can't live both sides as we talked about before. Grogu can't either. He has to choose. He has to make a choice, and Mando has to do the same thing. So it's kind of tragic in a way, but I really think that Grogu and Mando's paths will collide soon. But all in all, the beginning of this episode really fantastic. I had so many questions. I'm so glad that we had some of them answered. So give us more of your thoughts.
Yeah, I love Luke's like student teacher kind of like relationship with Grogu, and it's so cute like when they were walking together and he's like using the Force to like to like skip him. It was
Oh, that
so
was so
cute.
cute.
And it's, yeah, like you said, it draws back to Empire Strikes Back when Luke was being trained under Yoda, and he's just kind of like, pass on what you have learned, right? And now he's kind of like doing, and it's so, isn't it so funny that it's like Yoda, this little green creature, trained Luke, and now Luke is training this little green creature. It's
Oh,
just like
that's
the semiotics is like, it's crazy,
semiotics
but
and balance. Just the
I know, but
force.
it's so cute. Like, and then like when he's like lifting the frogs and they're like they're meditating. It's I don't
Hmm.
know. It's just it subverted my expectations because like, and I kind of I should have learned my lesson with Mando season 2, because it's like, are they gonna do it again? And then they just do it, right? Like they don't care. Like because there was so many theories, that we were gonna see Luke or we were not gonna see him, and then they not only do they give us Luke, they give us Ahsoka in the same episode. So it's like, holy shit. So they're just they're giving us all these characters, and they work so well together, and seeing Ahsoka and Luke, and then just like that interaction, that dialogue of like, how much Luke has grown, and he's so much like his father. Like that was like the most surreal moment for me, because now Luke is kind of like, he's what I consider like, this is his peak, like before the sequels, because now he's really like adopted the identity of the Jedi. Right now he's taken like the best of like his father Obi-Wan and Yoda and just kind of like blended them together. And you can see that like in the ways that like he trains like Grogu, because he runs through the forest, and like they do like a couple like exercises, and like I thought it was a cute little throwback that they brought the training droid back, and then like Grogu thinks it's like a ball, like he just loves balls, like
That was so great.
it's so
Yeah.
cute. And then and then they're training together, and then he's like, yeah, just feel the force, when you jump. And it brings the magic back to Star Wars of what I think uh it was really lacking in like the prior like movies. And I think that's what I've talked about this in the other episode. Like I think these series are doing it better than the modern movies, because we get more exploration, we have more time to focus on mythology and lore. We saw that like with the last episode, like how we went so much into like the roots of Mandalore, and the Night of a Thousand Tears. Now we're shifting that focus onto like Jedi mythology now, and it's so interesting that we get all of this in a Boba Fett series. Is it? I can see like why people are saying it feels out of place for Boba, just because it I mean, it still takes place in Star Wars, but I think you just have to appreciate it for what it is, and just don't think too much about it. Just let the story flow, right? Because eventually we're gonna see Boba in the last episode, because we have to, right? Because that crazy reveal at the end, we're gonna have to see him eventually. But yeah, I just love the little scenes with Luke and Grogu. I think they were like really well done, and Dave Filoni, you can tell like added his like little Clone Wars tidbacks, because we
Oh
saw
yeah.
Grogu's flashback from Order 66, which actually was mentioned in Mando season 2, because Ahsoka kind of like hinted that Grogu escaped the Jedi Temple during the Order 66. So now we can kind of see that like what transpired, and that's so like cool that we actually got to see like Phase 2 clone troopers back, like in live
Yeah.
action. Like, what did you think about that?
That was great. I wish it was like longer, like just to see more like who rescued Grogu though at that moment. I hope we get some resolution
It
to
was
that
Cal
in the
Kestis
next.
or some shit.
Yeah, well, like it reminded me of that. No, that was so great. That was really cool.
You know what that reminded me of? It
Uh-huh.
was like kind of like Professor X, like helping like Logan like restore his memories in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Right. That's so funny too. Yeah, because he does live for a very long time. That's true, because he's supposed to be like here, about like 50 years old, 51 years
Yeah, he
old, I'd
has to be
say.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, that moment was so cool. Like I want to see, like I hope next season of The Mandalorian like really delves into Jedi mythology and like what Grogu remembers, because The Mandalorian is like really like all about exploring deep mythology and like paying attention to details. And I feel like we have like a good opportunity right now just with that little scene. Everything like in this episode introduced so much. So that scene was like one of my favorites, honestly, because seeing live action clone troopers again, that was like a highlight. I miss them so much dearly for live action.
The
So
only thing that ran through my head was like literally
yeah.
that's what like I was feeling this whole episode. It's like a little bit of like original trilogy, it's a little bit of Clone
Mm-hmm.
Wars, a little bit of sequels. It's a good mashup of like what Star Wars is, and there's such like a grace to it. But going on further, so what else did you think?
Well, yeah, and then obviously we were all wondering about the gift that Mando has, right? And after we seen that beautiful training of just Luke training Grogu, that discussion again that we talked about earlier that Ahsoka had with Mando felt like it was really heartbreaking too, that he had to leave. But the gift, everyone was wondering what the gift was, right? And we could cut a little bit and just say what the gift was. And what was the gift? It wasn't an Xbox. It was chainmail that I was kind of hoping it was like a nice like armor, but it's just like a t-shirt chainmail thing. But that
When you
was
say
cute.
chainmail was like a chainmail letter email or some shit.
What? How? He
That
printed
was
out
the game.
copies. He printed it out. Like that takes so long. Well, that's what it was. I mean, that was I kind of expected that it was like some type of armor. I'm glad it wasn't like another necklace or something. It's little chainmail armor. So I'm wondering how we're gonna. I wish they changed his outfit too for Grogu. I wish he had like a different outfit or something, like more
He's
like
still wearing the
Jedi.
same fucking like potato sack he's been wearing since the first episode.
But I love it though. That's
Yeah.
my baby. I love your outfit. But yeah. So at least we got that reveal, and then Mando has to leave the planet, right? And he has to return on his promise to Fennec and Boba. But what did you think about just that whole scene right there? Just that particular scene of
Well, it's interesting because like Mando still refers to Grogu as a foundling, right? I think because of their journey together, he has a connection with this creature, and it's hard to break that connection when they've been so close together, and they've done so much, and now, suddenly like, because I feel like Grogu is like the only like true family that Mando really had. I mean, obviously he's had the covert, but it's different with them, right? It's more like a brotherly relationship with them, or like kind of like you could say like a militant brotherhood, right? But with Grogu, it's more of a familial relationship, right? So now he's kind of just on his own,
Yep.
and he's still doing like bounty jobs, but there's kind of like a sadness to him because now he's like doing all these things by himself, and he's just kind of like wandering the galaxy without really any purpose. But yeah, it was a very sad scene in that regard, but because he just refers to him as a foundling, so you know, and then like because he's trying to rebuild the covert too. So, and it's interesting because like Ahsoka poses the question like, are you doing this for Grogu, or are you doing this for yourself? So he kind of recognizes that selfishness in himself in a way. So he's like, I got to do what's best for him, because obviously, if he sees me, he's never gonna want to, continue with his training properly, and then because why go on this whole journey of returning him to the Jedi, right? If he's not gonna follow through with it, right? But it's interesting, like that. Well, we'll get to that last scene, but yeah, I really thought that was a really well done scene with Ahsoka and Mando. But
Yeah, beautiful.
moving on, so then we have bigger stakes at hand, obviously. So we mentioned the Pikes are kind of messing things up. So Boba has this meeting with his council, I guess, his lieutenants. Black Chrysanthemum is there too, and now Mando is officially rolling with the Boba Squad, and they kind of need muscle because they're short on like foot soldiers. So Mando's like, oh, okay, well, I can probably help with that. So he goes to Mos Pelgo, and he meets up with Cobb Vanth, and he's like, you know, the Pikes are kind of like running things now. We kind of need muscle. We need like an army to fight back. And Cobb Vanth is like, I could understand like Cobb Vanth's position because like he has a responsibility to this town, and it's kind of like not his war, right? So he has a responsibility to his people first. He's not like just like another gun for hire, and he's vulnerable too because now he doesn't have the Boba Fett armor with him. But yeah, what did you think about like that little interaction between
I
Mando and Cobb?
I miss Timothy Oliphant, and I really miss Cobb Vanth. I always liked his character. I thought it was like so weird to see him in a Boba Fett armor. The first time I seen him, I was like, "What the hell's happening?" I'm glad to like catch up with him. That little town, I don't know what the fuck he's trying to pretend. That little town is like two houses, like that's it. Every time they like zoom, it's like just two houses. I don't know what town he's talking about.
It's like one Jersey neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's literally like somewhere in Camden. It's not even like he's like, I gotta protect my town. One people, one world, or one world, one people.
It's like one.
Yeah, I mean, but I understand where he's coming from, but I kind of figured like, no matter what, he's gonna have to help if he really wants to defend his people, because something is going down throughout the whole of Tatooine.
And he even thought about it too for a minute. He's like, gather the
Right.
people, and because they'll follow if they hear what I have to say. But yeah, going on. So then you want to break down what happens next for us?
So then who walks out, right? And that mirage of like wavy hot, like it's like Dylan's room. It's like wavy hot, like sand.
Not when it's cold, motherfucker.
Not when it's cold, but
and then the nothing was.
Yeah. But like who walks out with a hat? It's not Dave Filoni. I really thought it was Embo at first. That's who I thought it was. I was like, holy shit, Dylan
Can you
was right.
imagine? Oh my god.
Yeah, but coming up like through there, right? Just
And
walking.
the way they even set it up too, like the
Yes.
chimes,
Yep.
like the chimes of the bill, and this is where like Dave and John really like adopt from other like cultures, like Western films. You can really see that, like how they set this up. It's so perfectly done.
Yeah, and attention
And
too.
yeah, like you said, we see like this wave form, and then we just see this figure in the background. It's not Tony Stark coming out of the desert.
It could be so many people.
Right? But it's this cloaked figure in a trench coat and a hat. And anyone who's watched Clone Wars or is a big Star Wars fan knows where I'm going with this. But this is crazy because this was a huge theory that people were putting out there that we would eventually see. But Cobb Vanth is like, I didn't get your name. And we get the tilt of the hat.
Oh god.
And then we get these two like Nosferatu looking teeth. And then who we get? Fucking Cad Bane.
I'm Cad Bane.
Live action.
Man. That
I
was
could
crazy.
not, like, my mind literally was like emotional damage. But yeah, tell me like what you thought, because he looks so good. Live
Yes,
action,
he
like
does.
he looks like down to the teeth. The
Yes.
eyes were like really like scarlet.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, what did you think about like seeing
That was such like a great like live action adaptation of just the show. I love like even like the facial expression. I don't know if that's like partially CGI, maybe, but like
It
I'm
could be,
wondering.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm wondering who's like playing him. Is it like actually like the voice actors like in
I was
there?
gonna ask, yeah, because it sounds a lot like the original voice actor.
Yeah.
So maybe they just kind of like dressed them up.
Even
and, like,
better
add a
though,
little
it's like
something.
really like grizzly. Like
Yeah.
I was like really afraid of him too. He has like these new bracer things that's like bluish. He
Yeah.
looks spot on like from the show. It just blows my mind because I really want to see more of him, and I'm also interested to see how he kind of joined up with the Pikes. So take us through that scene, like beat by beat, like what did you think about it? What happened?
Well, it's so interesting because it makes sense for his character because in the Clone Wars, he's always been a bounty hunter, right? But he's always been a bounty hunter for like the bad guys, right? So he worked for Count Dooku, Darth Sidious, the Kaminoans in Bad Batch. So it makes sense, right? Because his narrative is like he's kind of just like this really like outlawish guy. But this scene took it to a whole new level because it fits so well with like the spaghetti western vibe.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was kind of like the twin suns were like coming down to, and then Cobb Vanth is like, all right, everybody get inside, even that stupid ass deputy.
Hey motherfucker, don't come
That guy
close.
was a dumbass. I was like, I didn't feel bad for his ass, but yeah, it's Cobb Vanth is like, everybody like get inside, and it feels like a showdown at noon kind of vibe, and I love the little tension that they have. It's so quiet. There's no music. It's just them like going back and forth, and even like I love the line that Cad Bane says is like, yeah, don't trust Boba. He's a ruthless killer. He worked with the Empire, right? Because like it's like those little things. It's like he's kind of like planting the seeds of mistrust
Yeah.
too in this town too. Because even if obviously you can't trust him, but obviously you can't trust Boba either because he does have a reputation of being a mercenary that has gray morality too, right? But yeah, that scene was crazy. So then like the deputy is kind of just like, I'm not gonna leave you out here. So there's kind of like this like Mexican standoff. You could see it. It's like the 3 Spider-Man almost. It's just like Toby and Andrew are there just like pointing. But yeah, that was crazy. And then I really thought like because Cobb is a really good gunslinger. There was an episode too called The Guns. Oh no, that was with the sharpshooter guy. I forgot his name, but yeah, Cobb is a really good sharpshooter. So I really thought he was gonna like maybe like get one on Cad, but I think because that deputy guy was there, he was kind of like trying to make sure he was okay first.
Right.
So Cad, in all his like badass glory, like shoots both of them, and he put like 6 rounds in that
He
one
was mad.
deputy.
He
I was
did
like,
what he
"God
knew
damn."
what the fans wanted. The
Right.
man delivered.
I was like, God damn. But yeah, so I hope Cobb makes it
I
in the
think
next
so.
episode. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that he's trying to spread a message. I think that in a way, he wounded him. That's the leader of the town. I'm gonna wound him, kind of like to send a message and tell everybody else to like, don't trust your leader, because I just proved you that he's not that tough like me. And so do what I'm saying. And the leader's right there, weak. So everybody, it's all psychological, right? I mean, why would he shoot the other guy so much and not Cobb Vanth just once? So I think Cobb Vanth will show up like very like maybe sick or like dying or something like that for that blaster wound. But I don't think this is the last we're going to see of him.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's gonna make it because I think he might, try to warn Mando or
Yeah.
Boba about Cad, and then hopefully, I really hope we'll get like, because remember, we had that one Clone Wars episode that I don't think it's canon, but it was like a showdown between Boba and Cad, and that's
Oh.
how
Uh-huh.
he got the dent in his helmet. So it's still not canon. I wonder if they'll confirm it, but I
Maybe,
really hope
yeah.
it's leading to that.
Yeah.
And and then it just opens the door too, because now that we have I keep I keep calling Cad Bane Cobb Van. Now that we have Cad Bane, it opens up the door to like so many possibilities. We could see other. We still haven't seen Bosk yet. I'm surprised that he hasn't made an
I
appearance.
know, man.
I wonder what they're like, if they're saving him, because but wouldn't it be crazy now that we could see like Embo or like any of the other
Yeah.
characters from Clone Wars?
Yeah, I hope. I mean, this is Boba's show. I mean, that sucks. And then now the last episode's next week. That sucks that we didn't see any mention of them. Like, unless it's gonna come up in the comic books, and you kind of have to like dig there, or maybe Boba joins Mandalorian later. I don't know.
Yeah, it opens up a lot of because we could possibly see them in Mando season 2, or Ahsoka, or even like,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan too. Maybe they're, because we don't have to have all the characters in one show. Kind of have to spread them out. Just for the sake of narrative. But yeah, what are your before we get to predictions, and then we get we cut back to Grogu
Yeah.
and Luke, and Luke opens up Din Djarin's gift to Grogu, and it's that little cute chainmail sweater from Target.
I know.
But yeah, he offers Grogu this interesting proposition, and I want to know your thoughts on it. So he offers him the armor. He says, you can have this, or you can have, and what does he pull out? Yoda's lightsaber.
How did he get that?
That was so, I couldn't believe he saved that. Like, where the fuck did he find it?
I could tell you. I know. So what happens is, in the Darth Vader comic books, when we're first introduced, when it's starting out, the Darth Vader comic books, Darth Sidious, he, in a show of like disgrace for the Jedi, he takes all their lightsabers and melts them in a pot, right? And he also melts Yoda's lightsaber. This is a retcon because later on, there's a short from the Obi-Wan, from the main Star Wars series. It's like an Obi-Wan short, and in there it shows like a Yoda short. And so Yoda actually has his lightsaber with him in Dagobah, but he refuses to use it to hunt. So instead he hunts with a bow and arrow. He says this is, dishonorable to just use it for like little uses like that, right? So in essence, Yoda has kept his lightsaber all this time without igniting it in his little hut in Dagobah. So somehow Luke, I guess after maybe he returned to Dagobah and grabbed it or something. But I wish I actually brought my replica out here. I completely forgot, but like I'm so glad to see that. What did you think about that?
Like Luke just ordered it from like Korban Sabers or like
Korban, shout out to you. Yeah, that's be our sponsor. Shout out to you. I love your sabers, but Dylan likes like looking at them too. We love you. But what did you think about that though?
I'm
Like didn't that freak you out? Huh?
I'm repping Ultra Sabers, but
oh god.
But no, I love that scene because and it's so funny too because Luke kind of like wasn't giving this choice. Well, he kind of was in Dagobah. Cause remember, he went back to save Han and Leia in Cloud City. So he kind of like interrupted his own training. So I just thought that was interesting because wouldn't Luke be more like empathetic?
Yep.
But yeah, so he proposes this proposition to Grogu. He's like, you can have the armor, but then you have to return to Mando, and you have to leave the life of a normal person. You won't have any training with the Force or anything. He said, or you can take this lightsaber and you can continue your training, but you have to totally like cut yourself, like total disconnect from the outside world. And then it just ends on a great cliffhanger. Credits roll. We get the cool concept art and everything. So that was like such a good cliffhanger because it's like, what do you think is going through Grogu's mind right now?
He's like probably thinking, he's thinking
Frogs.
he's what's the thing? What's funny is Mandu and Grogu are so alike, but also Luke in a way. Like you just mentioned that thing where he wants to save his friends when he was like with Yoda, right? So I think he's gonna follow the path of Luke, and he's gonna do the most Luke thing he can do is like go back with Mando and help him on whatever adventure he's going on. Because in a way that builds character. It's not about where you land; it's really the journey, and I think that's what'll make Grogu a really great Jedi in the future. And if it has to be 500 years, everyone's dead for all these characters. We'll see. Will he ever meet up with Rey? I don't know. Like that'll be like interesting if they bring her Daisy Ridley back. But in my mind, I really do think that love is persevering. Or what's that Vision quote from from WandaVision? I feel like I'm
What
about to
is
say
love
that.
if not grief persevering?
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's what's he's gonna choose Mando. Absolutely. It's kind of silly to see anyway. Grogu like drop like all these bodies on the ground. He's so cute with just like this Yoda lightsaber. Like at the moment, maybe in the future. But what do you think was going through his head?
I don't know. It's a tricky situation because after all that he went through to get to Luke, I doubt he would like drop his training so easily. But like you said, he does have a close relationship with Mando, and I don't think he would be willing to give that up so easily. So maybe like the last episode, like they're in trouble, and then like I don't know, maybe Grogu shows up with machete, and
Machete.
they have like machine guns and shit. No, but I don't know. It's interesting because I don't know. It's because well, I think like overall, just seeing like Luke back, because I doubt we're gonna see him anymore. Like after this, I feel like he's just kind of he served his purpose for the show. Just to reflect on what the status of the Jedi are after Return of the Jedi. And he even said to Ahsoka, like, will I ever see you again? And she's like, maybe. So who knows? Maybe he'll make an appearance in Ahsoka series too. Um, yeah, I think this is kind of like his. Well, we'll see in the last episode, obviously, but I think this is kind of like Luke's final like goodbye to Grogu. It's just so it's just seeing those scenes together with him. It harkens back to like the allure of the Jedi and like what they really stand for. And I think like you said, like or like the most Jedi thing or the most Luke thing he could do, is go and save his friends. So I really think that it's gonna end with maybe he goes back and he tries finds Mando and Mando they just have more adventures together. Who knows? Um, yeah, I love this episode and the music too for this episode was just
Oh
so
yeah, little
beautiful. It was so
callbacks here and
serene.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Any other thoughts you had on this episode? Like things you loved, like little Easter eggs or anything?
I just not really so much Easter eggs. Well, obviously character reveals. But no. Honestly, anything that involved Luke and Grogu. I was really interested because I wanted to know more about like the Jedi, and I wanted to know more flashbacks, and we didn't get that. I felt like this is really a teaser for like what's to come. But my favorites, honestly, were just like everything that took place with Luke and that really great CGI. Those little callbacks, like what we were talking about earlier, Dagobah. The voice acting as well, I thought was really well for like Luke. Yeah, I felt like really the main highlight for me was Grogu, Luke, and Cad Bane. I mean, obviously it's nice to see Ahsoka. But what
Mm.
about you?
Yeah, I also agree. Those were definitely like the highlights of this episode. I just like the little details they sprinkled into, like the crate dragon skull
Oh,
on
that was so
the
funny. Yeah, no, I forgot about
yeah on
that.
the sandcrawler, and then like you see the bones inside
Yeah,
the little bar of
right.
Mos Pelgo. I thought that was cute. It's like a little throwback. Um, there was another thing to. Oh, I think it's funny because it's like I couldn't tell if it was Cobb or Cad Bane that shot first. So it's kind of like
Oh,
the new
really?
Han shot first.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. What if that's actually a thing? Yeah,
It's
there you
taken on
go.
the new role, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But isn't it funny, like, because it bounces back and forth between, like, this kind of, like, Eastern Asian culture vibe and this like spaghetti western vibe, and that's kind of like what Mando is about too, right? I just thought it was interesting, like bouncing back and forth between those two kind of like, I don't know, styles of like narrative.
Great
'Cause,
mix,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like, I don't know, like Last Samurai and just like, I don't know, uh the Outlaw in the West or some shit. But I don't know, predictions for next episode.
Uh, well, we've been predicting this to shit last time, but Boba Fett riding a Rancor, we still want to see it. Let's have a little gif of that, hopefully pretty soon. Yeah, I think obviously now everything's gonna be war, war, war. I think now it's gonna the shit's gonna hit the fan, and we're gonna see like this occupied Mos Eisley or Mos Espa, right? From the Pikes, right? They're gonna pull all their guns out, and they're gonna like hit Boba hard, and I think in return Boba's gonna do like some crazy shit, and we might see more of Cad Bane fighting Boba. That'll be great, or the Mando, and who knows what will be revealed at the very end. Will it be like a teaser for a season 2 if we actually get one? I'm not too sure. But maybe we'll see a little bit of Grogu. I think, like, really, honestly, the teaser probably will be for like Mando season 3. I think that's what's gonna happen. So, what do
Yeah.
you think?
Definitely. I think that the next the last episode, I guess, I feel like it's gonna be at least like an hour long, just because you kind of have to wrap up or tie up all these loose ends. I agree. I think because also remember Fennec also fought Cad Bane in Bad Batch too. So I think like Fennec and Boba are gonna have like this showdown with Cad Bane, and I doubt they would kill him off so easily. Because why bring him back in this episode if you're not gonna keep him around for it, right? Because they kind of want to like, because Disney doesn't just bring back characters just to like kill him off so easily. So I have a feeling he's gonna stick around a little bit longer, maybe for possible season 2, or who knows, Ahsoka. We also have like you said, Acolytes, Rangers of the Republic, all these other shows coming out. So they kind of have to like conserve what they have. Yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be definitely like you said, like all out war next episode. Maybe they're still recruiting, because we haven't really had like their foot soldiers yet. I maybe wouldn't it just be like interesting, like the citizens of Mos Eisley, I guess, like all just like band together, like the Jawas, the Tuskens, like everybody, like in this little town on this little desert planet, just like come together, like and like put their
That's like
differences aside.
that's really spiritual. That's like it sounds like that'll belong to like some type of book or biblical thing or something like that. That's good because what that could do is that could change Tatooine, right? Yeah, that's beautiful actually. That's really good. And then like it's all because of the Book of Boba Fett, because Boba Fett kind of reunited everybody, the Sand People. He showed everybody through respect comes honor, and we could all just you know yeah, that's a
One
good.
world, one people.
Yeah, that's it. That's they put the mask. That's what I was trying to say. There you go.
But yeah, I think that could happen. We haven't seen the mayor since the second episode, so I wonder if he's gonna make a return. I wonder if the Hutts are gonna come back just for like maybe they like struck a deal with the Pikes or something. I really have a feeling we might see Crimson Dawn at the end. I've stuck this theory out. I'm gonna see it to the end, but Crimson Dawn still has a big influence in the galaxy, even in the comic books. So they might even be the ones that hired Cad Bane for the Pikes. So who knows? But I can't wait till the next episode. This series has been amazing so far. It's been really like a gift for Star Wars fans. Feels like my early birthday present. But yeah, it makes me excited for Mandalorian, season 3 and Ahsoka and all these other great shows that are coming to Disney Plus. So I can't wait. But yeah, great episode, guys. Definitely check it out. Check out our other review for episode 5 and all our other episodes if you haven't already. But thank you for tuning in to our review of Boba Chapter 6. Please give us a follow. We have one more episode left for this series. But thank you again, guys. And also we have Peacemaker episodes 5 and 6 coming out this weekend. So check those out too. But until then, guys, may the Force be with you. And thank you for having lunch with us.
This is the way.
I should have activated my lightsaber.
I'm at it so bright.